We're out at fire station number 1 with Adam Dorn, Fitchburg Fire Department, 2 times this week. Yikes.
Yeah.
But this is all ahead of Fire Prevention Week, which starts on the 9th.
Correct.
But this weekend,
yes,
you have your annual open house.
That
and
is
part
correct.
of the open house is some fire extinguisher training.
Right.
So I thought it would be a good idea for me to get trained on how to put out a fire.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So why don't you give us the basics here of the fire extinguisher?
Great.
Hit us.
I won't hit you, but I'll give you some information.
Fantastic.
All right, so this is your standard fire extinguisher. It's an ABC extinguisher. It'll put out just about any kind of fire that you may come across. Big things to remember is, one, there's a little gauge up in the top here. Make sure that that gauge, there's a yellow needle, make sure it's in the green area on the gauge. If it's in the red, don't use it. So it's easy way to remember, green is go, red is stop, don't use it. So that's step 1. Step 2 is you're going to pull the pin. You're just going to pull that out. You're going to take the nozzle. You're going to aim this at the fire, at the base of the fire. You're going to squeeze this handle together, and you're going to sweep back and forth. That's as simple as it gets.
So what's the acronym?
Pass.
PASS.
Pass. Now, that does not stand for point, aim, scream, and scramble for you football people.
Wow.
Right. Just wanted to make sure, because I know you're a football fan.
Fire department humor at its best. At its best. So going back to when it's in the red,
Yes.
what would be reasons that it would be expired or not usable?
To be used, right? Okay, so one of two things. Either it's lost some of the pressure that's inside of there, because it's filled, I believe it's with nitrogen, and there's a dry chemical powder inside, and it either lost the pressure that just seeped out over time, or it could be overpressurized, maybe the temperature changed, and now when the handle is squeezed together, it'll take so much, the pressure will push so much through the tube on the inside of the extinguisher, it could get clogged in there or in the nozzle somewhere else, and then it won't work at all. So it's either it won't work because there's not enough pressure or there's too much pressure.
There you go. And now let's talk, because just because you have an extinguisher and you have a fire, I mean, what's the right call? I know you can't say, legally you can't say, well, what's when can you and can't you, but
Right.
how do you scope like it's too late, get out?
Right. So easy, the best way I describe it is when you feel it's too big. Right? If you don't feel comfortable using the fire extinguisher to put out the fire, it's time to call someone. Even before that, it's still time to call us, because if you do use this and it does go out, we should still come as a fire department and make sure that it wasn't in the walls or nothing else is going to catch on fire later, and find out the real cause of the fire. That's very important. So that's the easiest way to describe it. If you think it's too big or you don't feel comfortable using the extinguisher, it's okay. Some of the other things to keep in mind that if you do use a fire extinguisher is always make sure that you are between the fire and the way out. So if we're outside here, because we're going to do this outside and be safe, but our burn pan is over here, that's our fire, we're here, and if this is the door to go out of the room, this is exactly where we want to be. We do not want to put the fire between us and our way out, because if it gets bigger or something unexpected happens, we now cannot get out of that area. So that's a huge one. Have an idea what's burning to start with, because maybe this isn't the answer. Maybe it's a flammable metal at work or something that's on fire, and if you put water on a flammable metal, it's just going to have a huge
Impact.
and
yeah.
it's not going to not turn out good. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, so now we're going to take a look at actually demonstrating on how to do this.
Right.
And put myself to the test, right?
Okay.
So first here, we do want to talk about this, that you guys got this on a grant, this unit. So
Right.
I would be remiss if I didn't say,
Yeah.
this.
So we actually applied for a FEMA grant, Fire Prevention and Safety grant, through the federal government a couple of years ago, and we actually got 2 of these units. I believe our total was somewhere around the $18,000 mark. So we got 2 burn units. They all run off of propane. We power them with a jump start battery pack for the vehicles, and that's all we need, in water. So we're burning propane. These are water extinguishers. We are not going to use the actual extinguisher.
Almost got that through, but
Right,
budget,
right.
you know, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it. Not on this show.
Right. Not only that, this is way better for our environment to be able to do this. We don't have all the dry chemical out in the air, and you're not breathing in that nasty stuff either. So,
So what we're gonna do here, Adam, is you're gonna light this thing up,
Yep.
and then you're gonna describe each step as I go through it,
yep.
so I don't make the mistake
Right.
here. We want to do this properly, okay?
And make sure you follow directions.
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
can do that. That's easy for me.
All right. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start this up. I have it on an easy setting for you.
Easy is good.
So we're going to get this started up. And now it's starting. All right. So you're in your office. Andrew starts yelling, "Jeremy, I have a fire. What do I do?" You're going to
Proceed.
tell him to call 911. You're going to go get a fire extinguisher.
Set a fire extinguisher.
Correct. You're
Is there a proper way to hold this bad boy? What would you
Yeah.
prefer?
You take your hand underneath the handle. That's all you need. And put one hand out on the nozzle. So this is going to time out on us because we took some extra time explaining this.
Hey, that's okay. We're just gonna wait it out.
Right.
And I'm
so
just gonna
I'm going
set
to
this
restart
down.
this. All right. So you're going to take your hand, put it underneath there just like that. Once this gets going again. Right. So you already told Andrew to call 911. Pull the fire alarm in the building. You now have the fire extinguisher. You just pulled the pin.
Hold the pin.
Did you check the gauge?
I checked the gauge. It is green.
Okay.
There's a lot of water in
There
here.
you go. Yes, there is. Take one hand and put it there. On this model, you need to aim at those 4 sensors at the base of the fire. The key is aiming at the base of the fire. Squeeze the handle and sweep side to side.
To the base.
All right, very good.
Beautiful.
Couple things that we didn't talk about yet. We want to make sure that we never turn our back to the fire, because if you turn your back to the fire, you don't have your eyes on it and you don't know what happens. It could reignite. Okay, that's a big one. And always make sure that if you're in the path, that you call 911 and activate the fire alarm. Because maybe someone else in the building doesn't know that this is going on. It's very likely, and you want to make sure everybody gets out, everybody is safe. That's the most important thing, that you're safe, everyone else in the building is safe, everyone gets out, and you call the fire department.
Perfect. Adam, always a pleasure having you on the show. Thank
Yep.
you for going through this with us. And we again hope you join this weekend at the open house where you can see demonstrations like this and again, learn more fire facts from this guy right here. We'll be right back. It is Talking Fitchburg.